Welcome back to the second video in this three-part video series. If you haven't watched the first video, I suggest that you go back and watch that now before you continue with this one. You can find the link to that video in the description below. In that first video, we covered what the opportunity that strength training provides, how it moves you towards a more positive, active future rather than one where you become more frail. We also covered the World Health Organization physical activity guidelines. Everybody from the age of 18 to 64 should be doing 2 sessions of muscle strengthening exercises. Actually, as you get older and above the age of 65, we should be doing 3 sessions of muscle strengthening exercises. And I went on to recognize that there are probably some objections to strength training you currently have that is stopping you from getting started. This is something I'm going to challenge a little bit more in today's video through the stories of a couple of the people that I work with. As a reminder, my name is Tiley. I am a physiotherapist in the UK and I have created Never Too Old to Lift. I've got a particular passion for introducing strength training to anyone who didn't feel that it was possible for them. I started Never Too Old to Lift to try and inspire more of you to get going, to take action, and to look forward to a more positive future. As I mentioned in this video, I'm going to introduce you to 2 stories of people I've worked with that have embraced strength training and they've incorporated it into their life and they're now seeing the positive impact that it's having. Let's start with Phil's story. Phil is someone who came to see me in the clinic. He was starting to notice his knee feel stiff and uncomfortable, and it was really limiting him from doing the things he wanted to do. He's a real keen gardener, and it had been 2 years since he'd really been able to get stuck into any garden projects because his knee was always just going to flare up and cause him to suffer afterwards. He'd also noticed that he wasn't able to kneel in church, which is something that he was bothered by. He's never really been particularly active. So at school, he did all the sports that you generally have to do at that point, but he never continued any of them after school. He sporadically went swimming and played a bit of tennis, but nothing with any consistency or routine to it. We determined that the strength in his leg wasn't as strong as the other side and as strong as it potentially should be. I'm pleased to say that he has embraced the strength training. He's added it into his weekly routine and he's continuing to progress and push himself. His muscles are getting stronger and he is now deadlifting, so lifting a bar from the floor, which weighs 65 kilograms. And Phil is just over 60 kilograms himself, so he's now lifting his body weight. He can squat to a lower depth than a full squat, but he is able to squat with 55 kilograms on his back. These are just some of the benefits he's noticed within the gym. More importantly, his knee isn't bothering him now and it's not stopping him from doing anything. He's back in the garden and he's able to take on projects that he would have put off last year. And he's now able to show off his garden and invite friends and family over. He's now able to kneel down on the floor again, get up from the floor without any hesitation. He's just moving a lot more confident. He said he's never felt better than he has at the moment. From someone who's never been particularly active before, he's now told me that he's got no plans on stopping lifting weights and trying to build muscle strength. It's something that he wants to now continue for as long as is possible. Then I want to bring you on to Mike and his story. So Mike is someone that in the first lockdown when COVID started, he found the Never Too Old to Lift ebook as he wanted to start strength training or building muscle strength. Mike's history is a little bit different from Phil's. He previously was a keen fell runner. He loved mountain biking, skiing, going on family walks and hikes. He's always been particularly active. However, he was starting to find that his knee was starting to affect his enjoyment of doing these things. He wasn't able to run as fast. On family walks, he'd gone from being kind of the leader, pacing out ahead, to someone who was lagging at the back. And this wasn't a feeling that he liked. He also had 4 grandchildren and he was noticing that his wrist was uncomfortable when he was lifting his youngest. He actually started to wear a wrist brace to give him the confidence to be able to lift his granddaughter, which again really bothered him because that's something he didn't feel he should be doing. Mike went through the ebook and incorporated the strategies into his routine. He found some equipment that he had at home previously, as well as some that he sourced online. Given that Mike has gone through this process at home on his own, he has made fantastic progress. He's now deadlifting 94 kilograms and he's done squats with 77 kilograms, shoulder press with 14.5 kilograms in each hand, and he's doing bent over rows with 2 times 20 kilograms. At this stage, some of those exercise names might not mean much to you. To lift 94 kilograms, which is, again, just like Phil, it's more than his body weight, is fantastic. It isn't just about that progress in the gym, though. It's about how it's affected his life outside the gym and all the things that he can get back to now. So he has told me that he's back to trail running without any pain at all. Same with mountain biking. He can do that at his previous level. The one that I love is that he doesn't have any worries at all about picking up his grandchildren. And he recently told me he got back from a bouncy castle party for his 4-year-olds. And he wasn't just watching like he might have been last year. He was really getting involved. He's on the bouncy castle, playing with them. And he wasn't worried about his knee, wasn't worried about his wrist. He was just enjoying the time that he had with his grandchildren. I want to link this back to some of the objections that you had in that first video. We mentioned that you feel that you might be too old to start, or you feel like it's too late for someone who's never done it before. Phil is testament to that he started at the age of 76 years. Over the course of 2 years, he is able to get to the point where he's deadlifting 65 kilograms. Mike started when he was 70 years old and has got to the point where he's deadlifting 94 kilograms. Incredible achievement in a relatively short period of time. Both Phil and Mike are likely to have some level of osteoarthritis, and they were suffering with pain for more than a year or two. The fear they had at the start is that they would exacerbate their pain by trying to do the strength training or lift weights, and they tried to stay safe and avoid vigorous activity in case it made things worse. But actually, it was the lack of activity and the lack of exercise that was probably making things slowly deteriorate. The next objection, that lifting weights is dangerous. There is an element of truth to that, in that there are risks, but if we respect the fact that you are a little bit older, you might have some pre-existing conditions, we can adapt things to get you started, and then we can take things a little bit slower in how we progress things. We can mitigate those risks. Given the progress they both made, I hope that you can start to see that actually making your muscles stronger and supporting your joints is more likely to have a positive impact than it is a negative one. Last one is that people think that this has to be done in the gym. As I mentioned, Mike did all of this from home with some equipment that he had. I understand that some of you might not have equipment at this stage, and you don't necessarily need equipment as it looks in a gym, so a dumbbell or a barbell. You can use a rucksack and bottles of water or anything that's got some weight to it. As you started to see some benefits and you're progressing and want to take it a little bit further, you'll likely need some heavier weights, or you'll have the confidence to go into the gym once you feel like you know what you're doing. But to get started, by all means, you don't need specific gym equipment. You don't need to go to a gym. By now, I hope that Phil and Mike's story has started to pique your interest and made you realize that maybe this is something that you could start and you could benefit from. So in the third video of this 3-part series, I'm just going to start to give you a little bit of information about how you could get started on your own, and then tell you about how you can get more support if that was something that you're interested in. But for now, please comment below with any other objections that you might have to starting that I haven't mentioned or I might not have thought about. Please do like this video if you found it useful. Just give it a quick thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that third video and also any other videos that are coming out in the future. Please share this with anyone else that you think will benefit. I'm really passionate about spreading this message, and getting this out to even more people would mean the world to me. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.